What's up, fellas? We're back. It's time for Wake Up Mintzy. We're live on Rumble. I'm joined by Tyler Mitty here in the Barstool office. We're presented by our friends at Dude Wipes, because if there's ever a show that had a mess to clean up, it's certainly this one. Check out my personal favorite, the Mint Chill. Moody, they have a mint. We have Wake Up Mintzy. We have a mint-flavored Dude Wipe. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Got to check that out. A whole bunch of stuff to get into today. We've got our special guest, Dante the Don. But, guys, I'm coming in here. I'm freaking fired up today. You know, I got called out a little bit by the chat on Thursday. They were saying, where's the energy? Where's the energy? It's unacceptable. I'm not going to have any of that. We're coming in here. We're ripping people's heads off. We're ready to get up. We're going to face the day. And to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is chug some Stella Blue coffee. Thanks to Big Cat, best coffee in the business. All right. Ready to do this thing. Whole bunch of stuff to get into today. Had a huge weekend running around Chicago. I got to say, I'm freaking loving Chicago. You know, when I moved up here a few months ago, I thought it was going to be, you know, fun. And I knew being at the Barstool office was going to be great. And, you know, I've got a good place to live, all that stuff. But it's even more fun than I thought. And, you know, last weekend, basically, you know, I talked about it on the Thursday show. We're a little bummed that the Widespread Panic shows got moved from Chicago Theater. Ended up having just so much fun. Moody, what's your first NHL game Thursday night? Penguins, Blackhawks, Sidney Crosby, 2 goals. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'd never been to an NHL game before. I've been to every other pro sporting event, but it was really cool. Energy in there was good. Obviously, Sidney Crosby is an absolute legend, and he scored 2 goals. He's a marvel to watch play, truly. It was probably the coolest part of it all.
Yeah, so hit an NHL game Thursday, went and turned it up, got the disco shirt back out at John Boy on Friday night, which we're going to be joined by our special guest, Dante the Don, in a minute. He's one of the owners of John Boy, the Don, legend, going back to the Blackout tour in Barstool. And then Saturday, Moody, things really escalated in that Metro. I got asked by my friend Andy Frasco, who had a big show, sold-out show at the Metro. We got some clips from it, got to do the intro video, and he actually asked me 2 years ago to crowd surf once at Tipitina's and NOLA, and I'm just going to be transparent. 2 years ago, I was like 40 pounds heavier. I had some real apprehension about crowd surfing at that point. This time he asked me, I said, hell yeah, let's freaking do it, and we did it, but I kind of did it in a weird way. I didn't really know what I was doing. I know that's kind of my defense for everything, but we've got some clips from that, I believe.
Give it up for fucking Mintzy. He's scared shitless right now. Okay.
Hot down right into the crowd is kind of wild, man.
Yeah, I didn't really think that through very much. That was probably not the most thought through decision I've ever made. But hey, I survived it. It was like a huge rush, man. It was like an endorphin rush. Kind of like blacked out a little bit when it happened. But shout out to Frasco. If y'all hadn't followed him, he's at Andy Frasco on Twitter and Instagram. He's just a sweet nutbag. The show was spectacular. He played a bunch of Nirvana and Alice in Chains. Dude, he even did like a Panic cover at the beginning for all the Panic fans that missed the Chicago theater shows. It was freaking spectacular. I survived my first crowd surfing incident, even though I'm probably about to catch some serious hell from our guest about it. Some other stuff I want to get into. All right, I got to give a big shout out to one of our guys at Barstool, okay? My man, TJ Hitchings, hit the under 200 pounds the other day. Dude was 300 on August 25th and hit 199.4. Moody, 6 months to do that? That's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. And y'all see me in here, I fight the damn health battle. I'm open about it. I mean, I run my ass off. I lift weights. But, man, TJ's eating like 11 or 1,200 calories a day. That's not a point I've been able to get to just yet. But it's just been incredible, man, the discipline to do that and lose over 100 pounds. I'm super proud of him. I'm friends with him. And it's just been inspiring. I didn't know that was even freaking possible. I mean, that's one of the craziest damn things I've ever seen. Maybe 100 pounds in 6 months. Looks awesome. Did it the right way. Eating less calories. He's lifting. He's doing cardio. But I just want to give him a big shout out. I'm proud of him. It's very inspiring to me. I'm doing pretty good on the health battle right now, I think. I've been eating healthy for Lent and working out and running. But, man, I ain't. That's a different level, and I just want to give him a big shout-out. Also, college baseball opening weekend hit over the weekend, and I got to say, Moody, it's interesting to me. As college baseball, we talk about the grow the game stuff, and it seems like opening day, used to be mid-February college baseball. People be like, oh, whatever, it feels like preseason. But it felt like it was popping on social media more and more this weekend, and college baseball just continues to grow. And I'll tell you why. Because now the gambling on it's gotten so much better. On the gambling sites, you got run lines, regular lines, over-unders. Like, they used to just only have them for like occasional conference games. Now they got them on everything, and it's awesome. I got the crap kicked out of me gambling. I went like 0-5 on Friday. I did bounce back going 3-1 on Saturday, but the Fade Mintzy might be coming back. Some shout-outs to just quick notable stuff in college baseball over the weekend. A few things. I'm starting to think Duke might be a baseball school, Moody. They're number 12 preseason. They had a huge weekend, beat Coastal Carolina, who's good and ranked. Indiana, they went 3-0, beat George Mason like 23-5. There were some good tourneys around the country. Nothing like super, super notable. Tennessee won 2 out of 3, beating they lost to Oklahoma in extras, beat Baylor and Texas Tech. Arkansas won 2 out of 3 against James Madison. LSU went 4-0. Granted, they played no one, but Viamont Central Arkansas, they're opening their defense in the national championship. My alma mater, Ole Miss, kind of struggled a little bit, going 2-2 at Hawaii. Had like 6 errors, and it just was a disaster in that last game. But you know what? That's not the point. The point is college baseball is growing. The game is growing. You can gamble on it. Check it out. It's going to be fun all season long. And it's going for about the next 4.5 months. NBA All-Star Game was over Sunday. Moody, I don't know about you. You watched some of it. I don't have a whole lot to comment on it. It was just like an up and down. There were like 3 fouls called in the game. Damian Lillard was raining threes. It got a lot of heat on social media, kind of like people were over it. I don't know. I didn't have too much to say on it. Did you have any thoughts?
It's just boring these days. I mean, it's cool to see a dude make a half-court shot, but once you've seen it once, you've seen it. Now, there's just no defense played. There's no intensity. It's a pickup game. Yeah, it's the best players in the world playing a pickup game, but I don't know, man. It's kind of happened to the NFL. They've had to rethink things. I think the NBA is going to have to do the same thing. Major League Baseball is the only one that really has an exciting All-Star or, All-Star weekend. Yeah,
it certainly seemed like the thrill seemed a little gone. All right, I got a story to share with y'all that ties in really good with our sponsors, but I almost had a Jersey Jerry level. It's a catastrophe situation yesterday on my hands, Moody. It was bad. It was very, very bad. And so I ate some like Thai food, and then I had some like grilled Szechuan food or something. And I was in an Uber yesterday, and we all know the feeling. Like, nobody wants to talk about it when this happens to them, and your like stomach drops, and you're like, man, I really got to go immediately. Dude, I looked down, and I was in an Uber at like 6:25, and I wasn't getting back to the office till like 6:35, and I had about the most uncomfortable 10 minutes I've had in literally years. I just sit on like one butt cheek the whole way. I like dead sprinted in the office, barely made the stall and made it in time. So luckily I didn't crap on myself like Jersey Jerry, but I came very, very close. And it was almost a very sad day and a bad day. But thanks to Dude Wipes, the mess almost had got cleaned up. Shout out Dude Wipes. One of the best products. Like I said, check out the Cool Mint, the Wake Up Mintzy special. I mean, you can't beat that. But Wake Up Mintzy presented by Dude Wipes. Well, the first thing after having my Stella Blue coffee every morning is hit the bathroom, hit the number 2, and the only way I wipe are with Dude Wipes. Dude Wipe gives me the ultimate clean, gets all the crap toilet paper left behind. Who needs dry toilet paper when you could have Dude Wipes? So quit using dry, scratchy toilet paper. Start using Dude Wipes. And shout out to Dude Wipes because they're available on Amazon and nationwide on Walmart, Target, any local grocery store. Life-changing product. And like I said, I mean, I had a near catastrophe yesterday, and I was fine when I left the bathroom thanks to the clean, beautiful Dude Wipes. All right, we're about to be joined by our special guest today. He's a man that goes way, way back with Barstool. I think he's walking around outside. But our good friend, he's been awesome to meet, too. I got to say, Dante the Don going to join us here in studio. Shout out, Dante. What's up, bud? First time I'll Wake Up Mintzy.
Could that be more awkward? You want a fist pound?
Well, let's do a fist pump. Yeah. Of course, it's always awkward with me. What do you expect?
Oh, what an ad read that was.
Well, I mean, dude, I almost had the biggest catastrophe of all time yesterday, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like for like 12 minutes. I mean, we've all been there in life. I hadn't had that happen to me in years, but like when you got to go and you're in a spot where you're like 10, 15 minutes away. Freaking nightmare, dude. I mean, I was like sweating in this Uber. I was freaking out. Like I got in the office and dead sprinted. Like got the stall open, didn't even get the stall shut.
You think your driver knew what was going on?
I didn't say anything, but I was acting super, super edgy.
What kind of rating did you get?
What? I gave him a good rating at Chip.
No, you know they rate you too.
Oh, I didn't say much. I was just like clenched up, like freaking out.
Sweating?
Yeah, sweating. And I mean, literally, dude. I mean, I didn't even get the stall door shut. It was bad, dude. It was bad. But luckily, I had Dude Wipes clamp the mess. Dante, I got to say, shout out to Dante the Don. Been awesome to me since I came to Chicago. Actually, he's just been cool to me the whole Barstool time.
You're a cool guy, man.
I appreciate it. Well, so Friday night, I appreciate y'all's treatment. Y'all treated me awesome. I talk all the time. I go in Good Night John Boy. Man, you're bringing the dance club back to society.
Somebody had to do it, man. I'm glad it was us.
Well,
For real. It's dark times right now.
Why is that?
I just think music in general is so shitty right now that all the current stuff just isn't working.
So you got to go retro with it?
Yeah. I mean, no better era, in my opinion, than Motown disco era. Just great, fun, upbeat music. Everybody knows it. Girls love it.
Hell yeah, they love it.
Love it.
If anybody hadn't been in there yet, I mean, I've been spending a good bit of time in there. Man, it gets turned up in that place, dude.
You had a good crew this week.
Yeah. Well, we had a bunch of people from Mississippi that were up here that all of a sudden had to change plans. That show's getting canceled. And like right when that happened, I was like, we're going to John Boy, boys. I'm telling y'all.
They were a great group.
Yeah, we had a huge time. And shout out to your staff. Yeah, the Good Night John Boy loves Mitzi sign up. I mean, how can you beat that? But it's just a dance party in there. It's good vibes. Beautiful women everywhere. I mean,
You had a great outfit.
Yeah, I brought the disco shirt back. I try to bring that disco shirt out like 3 or 4 times a year.
I think you're gonna have to bring.
I'll have to get a new one.
I think you're gonna have to bring more of those into your
repertoire.
Yeah, into your like closet, because every time you come now, you set the bar so high on Friday. You're gonna have to bring out shirts like that every time now, man.
All right, I needed to get. I couldn't find my like U.S. aviators. That's what I was looking for to go with it because I like having that like aviator shades.
Would have played it down. You had a very Travolta Saturday Night Fever thing going on Friday.
That's exactly what I was going for, even though it was Friday.
Could tell.
Hell yeah. Well, so had a blast in John Boy. Dante also, you had a lot of thoughts because you're a big music guy. Dante runs Stool Backstage. Give Barstool Backstage a follow for Barstool music content. You had a lot of thoughts. I saw your blog. You had some thoughts on this crowd surfing incident.
Dude. Oh, man. I'm so disappointed that I couldn't go on Saturday because I would have killed to have seen that in person. I don't know. One of the things I wrote is I don't know how White Sox Dave videotaped you doing that and kept a straight face and didn't die laughing. Camera was still. He was silent, just filming you do that from the balcony. Also, by the way, what did you think of the Metro?
Dude, the Metro was awesome, man. It was popping. He sold that thing out. It was like 1,200
That
people.
venue fucking great.
Yeah, man. You could tell there's a lot of history in there, right by Wrigley Field. And we were like up on the balcony, had like a little VIP area. Man, I thought it was awesome. The energy was great. Dude, Frasco just, I mean, I obviously I'm friends with him. I go back with him 10 years because a buddy of mine I grew up with used to be his tour manager. Man, there's nobody like that guy. I mean, I see a lot of shows, a lot of music. His thing, he knows how to engage the crowd with his like entertainer talking stuff. He just gets everybody like so into the communal energy at like a level I hadn't seen. And man, dude, I mean, it just was so freaking rowdy in there. And, I definitely, I'm glad I don't know, I can't believe I jumped stomach first. That was not very smart.
I heard you say while I was outside the studio, that is not the first time you've crowd surfed.
No, it was. He asked me 2 years ago. That was the first time I did it. He asked me to do it at Tipitina's in NOLA during Jazz Fest 2 years ago. And I kind of balked because I was like probably 40 pounds heavier. I was like, I don't know if I can trust it. And this time when he asked, I was like, hell yeah, I've lost weight. I've been working out and running. Let's freaking do it, boys. And, I thought it went as good as it could. I mean, I didn't know I should have done some research to know you don't go stomach first because you don't want people like hitting at your junk.
I don't even think it's a research thing, man.
You think it's a common sense thing?
Yeah, I think it's a common sense thing. No offense.
That's never really been one of my strengths.
All right, but just naturally, when you leaned out off the stage, you didn't think like, I should probably turn my back because that's where everyone's hands are going to be? Not.
I honestly wasn't thinking anything. I was just trying to get out there.
Bro, not just like your, I don't know what we can say on here or whatever, not just your like package and all that, but like your face. Like, weren't you getting people's fucking hands like up?
I honestly like just fell down and it was like a blackout thing. Like I just was getting pushed around and I don't even like remember it. Kind of, it was just like such a rush.
You know what I liked? How quickly the crowd, when he was like, come back, they ran you right back to the stage. You're right. He's very, very, like, not manipulative, but he has control of that crowd. Like,
yeah, it was, man, it was, I feel like the Barstool thing, like, you just never know what you can get into day to day here. I mean, it's just like every day is a new adventure, and I never really thought I'd crowd surf. And,
What's your and Frasco's connection? How do you guys know each other?
So 10 years ago, when he was kind of starting out traveling, my buddy that I grew up with in Monroe, Louisiana, a guy named Harper Hollis, was his tour manager. So, and they were playing like bars with like 30, 50, 100 people around the country, just in the van all over the place. And my buddy was like selling merch and helping them on the road. And so Frasco, even though he's kind of from all over, but I know he used to live in KC. Now he lives in Denver. He's got LA. He grew up originally in California. He's a big Lakers fan.
Yeah, he's a huge Lakers fan.
But there's like a funny tie with him in Monroe, Louisiana, which is so random because of my buddy, the tour manager. So how
did those two meet?
But I think at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. They were living out there.
My favorite place.
You a big Jackson Hole fan?
It's my favorite. I want to disappear there one day.
I've never been.
What?
I've never been to Jackson Hole. I want to go in summertime. But they met out there, and so Frasco's like boys with all these like North Louisiana people, which is maybe the most random thing of all time. But he's blowing up, man. He's got this podcast, World Saving Podcast. He's a Sony artist now, and he was really pumped. He sold out the Metro, and I'm hoping to see him at New Orleans Jazz Fest. But I get to keep I'm going to keep supporting him forever for sure.
So I had never heard of him until a few years ago. White Sox Dave put me onto him, and then almost immediately after you got hired. And I met you, and you were telling me all about, your obsession with Panic, but you also dropped Frasco. And I was like, why I keep hearing about this guy? And then you told me, how tight you were and close with him. And he's done a lot of stuff with us, with Backstage. He's been
he also is part of the Wake Up Mintzy history. But I think we're redeeming it now. It wasn't his fault.
Him, I really have to catch him live because everything I see from his live shows look like they're next level and a ton of fun.
Well, I want to ask you while we got you here, because you've got a lot, you've got big history of Barstool. I've been a part of this now for, I guess, about 3.5 years. But I went through and watched like the Barstool documentary, and I was learning like about the history of it. And you were DJing the Barstool Blackout tour back in the day, and I got to hear about this because that looked like the craziest damn times I've ever seen. It was like, what was it, like 2010, 2011?
Yeah.
Y'all were running around college campuses basically having raves?
Yeah, to put it bluntly, that's exactly what
I don't know. I just saw the documentary, and I can't even imagine what that was like. It was like, was it you, Devlin?
Gaz,
Dave.
Heidelberg, a couple of Gaz's friends from Boston, and who else is mixed up in that? Dave actually used to come to a good amount of shows, believe it or not.
That's a while ago. I mean, Dave at that point, Dave was like in his early 30s or 30s.
Yeah,
you know?
he used to come.
Probably more college.
Anytime we were like within an hour drive of Boston, he would show up, and that was quite often. We were all over New England all the time. But yeah, I had that going on at the same time I was DJing for Sammy Adams, who's a big rapper at the time, who Dave also helped put on and blow up. But that was through him. That was my first trip down to the SEC and that whole belt.
What was that like,
dude? You know, I mean,
I know.
You're spoiled, but going to school in the Midwest, being from the Northeast, visiting Big Ten schools while I was in college, I was like, man, I did it all wrong. Then I went to the SEC on the Blackout tour / Sammy thing, and I was like, oh my God, did I do it wrong?
Do you have any particular spots, any ones that stood out or funny stories that are mentioned on Wake Up Mintzy that won't get us canceled?
Oxford was awesome.
Okay, okay.
Unbelievable. I forgot what theater we did. It was pretty famous.
Okay.
Big theater. That
Lyric, maybe?
Library?
Okay.
Two stories.
Yeah.
Balcony.
Yeah, I think it was probably Lyric.
Great spot. We did a show there. We stayed on campus a couple days. Didn't get to see a game, but just the atmosphere and obviously the chicks there, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's definitely real.
I remember it sucked getting there though. Like we had to fly into Memphis.
Yeah, no, it's a little inconvenient. You got to do Memphis, and it's like an hour away. And flying into Memphis is expensive, and you got to. Yeah, it's constantly a problem.
And Memphis is pretty tough.
Yeah, Memphis has some. There's some good parts. It's got some good food, music, and soul, but it's definitely seen better days.
Definitely. But that, and I think Tuscaloosa was tough to beat. No,
I'm sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
Tuscaloosa they got a beautiful campus too. I mean, I definitely do not like Alabama football, and I'm glad Saban's gone. But I've partied there, and it's no joke. It's a serious thing. Have you ever made it to Baton? You ever make it to Baton Rouge?
No.
Okay.
I've been to Louisiana a bunch of times, but I haven't been.
Yeah, you were down in New Orleans for a bachelor party. I saw you. I guess a couple months ago. I mean, y'all looked like y'all had a big.
Dude, that was so random.
Yeah.
We're sitting at. We can't mention where we were, right?
Probably not.
We were at a gambling establishment, and I was with a crew. What was going on? Was it just college football?
Yeah, it was
Saturday?
just football Saturday.
And I
think I was playing a poker tournament.
And I look over, and you were sitting with who's the guy you were with again? Former quarterback.
Oh yeah, I was with Josh Booty, the old LSU quarterback who played for the Raiders. Yeah, he was like the number 5 pick in baseball in like '97. To the Marlins. He's had a wild life.
What's he do now?
That's a damn good question. I feel like I've always wondered that. It seems like he runs around the country and plays a lot of golf, and he's at a lot of fun places, but he's got some business stuff. I think that's kind of like an international mystery. A lot of people want to know.
Really?
But he seems to have quite the lifestyle.
Does he sell insurance?
No, he doesn't sell insurance like other most burned out athletes. Yeah, but he certainly he's got quite a life. But yeah, I ran into you in NOLA, and y'all had a big crew doing Frenchman Street. Seemed like y'all had a big time.
Dude, that was. I want to go back now so bad. I never really had I like New Orleans, but could take it or leave it. And then after hitting Frenchman for a weekend, now I love that city.
We need to get a backstage trip to Jazz Fest this year.
Dude.
We need to. That's what the people.
Wait. So is that's not Voodoo Fest, right?
No. The Jazz Fest is the big one. It's late April. It's 2 weekends long. It's late April and early May. It's the last weekend of April and first weekend of May. But it's a big thing for like 10 days because the week between is called the days between, like the playoff dead. And there's a bunch of shows Monday through Wednesday all over. So it's like It's it's a serious thing.
So Jazz Fest better than Voodoo Fest?
Yeah, Voodoo's it was really fun back in the day. It's like the Halloween one. But it's supposed to come back, I think, this year, but it kind of went away for a couple years. But yeah, no, Jazz Fest is the super huge one. It's like Mardi Gras and Jazz Fest are the two biggest things there. And I always do the Hogs for the Cause stuff, which is April 5th and 6th. It's like smaller, but big charity thing. But yeah, I mean, NOLA's like fall and spring, it pops. And then like after Jazz Fest in May, like June, July, and August, it's like the 8th layer of hell. So you got to avoid it.
They announced the lineup yet?
Yeah, it's like Rolling Stones or the Thursday.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I got the Killers. It's pretty... Man, it's pretty loaded this year. It looks really, really fun. So
You seen either of them live?
I've seen the Stones a couple times. I hadn't seen the Killers, and I've wanted to because I was like obsessed with them back in the day. I saw the Stones in Vegas 2 years ago at Allegiant, and I saw them at Titan Stadium in Nashville in 2015. But my dad raised me on the Rolling Stones. So that's a big thing for me. They're coming through Soldier Field here in June.
I saw them there last time they were here. What are your thoughts on them live?
I think they're still damn good. What's crazy to me is Mick Jagger's like freaking 80 years old, running around, dancing, still raising so much hell. How the hell is that even possible?
I know, it's crazy.
But he does, he takes dance lessons and flexibility. And, I thought it was an incredible show still. I'm a big fan of Carl Denson, plays sax for them now. He's an awesome sax player. But, yeah, I had a blast, man. And I'd hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to go like the Jazz Fest thing. I'm either going to do the first or second weekend, so I don't know which one I'm doing yet. But I might do the Stone Soldier Field. The music scene, dude, I got to give you props. I know you're super into it, dude. This Chicago music scene's a serious deal.
It's we're very, very fortunate, very lucky, almost to a fault because there's so many shows coming through here.
Everything comes through here.
Yeah, it's like you can go broke and get overwhelmed trying to hit everything. Every weekend there's like a tour coming through, or small house shows. We have so many great venues.
Yeah, I was going to say, so one thing that's interesting to me, and I love getting to talk to Dante about this, is like this Chicago thing's all new to me. I mean, I came up here in college with my dad and went to a couple games at Wrigley. I've been to some shows at Chicago Theater, played some poker in the area, but I came up here, I didn't know nothing. And I feel like you're a Rolodex of Chicago info. You know all the restaurants and music venues and stuff. I appreciate you being a good resource. Do you, as far as music venues, what are some of your favorites?
So the one you just went to.
Metro's tight.
Metro's awesome. It's just so unique, and there's so much history there. Plus, like you said, you walk outside and you're looking at the lights at Wrigley Field. Joe Shannon, the guy who owns it, you would fucking love. He's such a great guy. He's done so much for Chicago's music scene, not just for his venue, but for independent venues in the city. He was huge during COVID for all of them. He's also been huge, standing up to Live Nation and them trying to scoop everybody up and monopolize everything. So Metro's at the top. Aragon, which I don't know if you've been to.
So I've been to Aragon. I did the 2011 Panic Halloween shows there. I didn't love it as much necessarily.
See, it's weird. It's very people are either
split on it.
Yeah, hot or cold, hate it or love it. I love it personally. I think it's so cool. That was like a Capone venue.
Oh, okay.
Like way back in the day, that's where they did like big jazz band shows.
Oh, no kidding.
Like New Year's Eve. Yeah, and it's one of the only venues, that you've been to that has multiple domed ceilings.
No, I remember the ceilings were kind of crazy.
The acoustics are pretty nuts in there.
I like Chicago. I mean, I've been to Chicago Theater. That's an obvious classic one. I've been there a few times.
Sound is incredible.
I love it. Well, it's like almost 100 years old. It's got that classic vibe to it. And there's like a spot out on the water right outside of it that's like the most picturesque, beautiful place. I'm a big fan. I saw My Morning Jacket there in November. But yeah, I love Chicago Theater. I'm hoping to make these rescheduled Panic shows there. But yeah, it's cool. I've been to, I know Salt Shed's newer in West Loop, but I went to the Wish Fest thing there.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah, and that was awesome. Great charity event.
Great spot. Right?
Yeah, really, really liked it. But I hadn't been the other ones. I want to check out Buddy Guy's Blues Club in Kingston Mines. I keep hearing about.
You got to go to Buddy Guy's, man.
I've been hearing I got to make those.
South Loop, not to jinx anything, but don't really know what the status is going to be down there. So I would check that out.
Okay, sooner than later is what you're saying.
And that's a spot you can literally walk in any night of the week and just
Doesn't matter because somebody good, like kind of like Frenchman and Nolan, where you just know something's gonna be good. You don't even have to look up who's playing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can just be like, hey, I know this is gonna be fun.
Great spot. Kingston Mines is great on the weekends. They're more of a, I don't want to say tourist trap, but they'll be probably way busier, way earlier.
Okay.
But, yeah, our jazz scene's like something that I had no experience with or knew anything about before I moved here. We've got great ones right in the heart of downtown too, like Blues on Clark, great spot. Andy's on, I think, Hubbard or Kinsey, great spot.
It's incredible to me. There's no lack of options. I also want to ask you. I mean, this is a brutal question to ask, but like the food scene here is just insane.
I think it's best in the country.
Yeah, like I'm not. And I may catch hate for this. And by the way, chat, feel free to ask questions for me or Dante. One thing on this show, I want to start interacting with the chat more. I realize I want to start doing that a good bit. I know y'all got some thoughts. I'm not as big on, like, when you think of the Chicago stuff, you think, the touristy stuff, you think like deep dish pizza and hot dogs and Italian beef and stuff. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'm not like a hater on all that stuff, but it's like not my favorite. I just don't, the deep dish thing, and I know it seems like all the people that are local are kind of like eat the tavern, what is it called, is it called tavern style, or people get mad about this stuff?
It's terrible.
You don't like the tavern style, or you don't like the deep dish?
It's all the pizza out here is terrible.
Okay, you're originally a Northeast guy.
It sucks.
So the pizza sucks. I like the
It's weird. It's the bread in general out here. Anything bread based is just not, like, it's no bueno. The bagels are terrible. You've tried bagels anywhere?
I've had. I know you like. I like.
Fucking awful.
I like mayonnaise that put in the deli.
The regular breads, not that good. Real dense, hard.
Is it the water? Like, what is it?
Dude, I don't know, man. But people think I'm crazy, but it's not. I'm not crazy. You go anywhere else in the country, and it's completely different.
Well, my thing on that deep dish, like you just. You and I know people that are local in Chicago say they eat it a couple times a year. You just can't eat it and like function as a human being. It's just too heavy. It's like I know it tastes good, but like if you have anything you want to do later, you're done.
Yeah,
that's just my thoughts.
So you're saying it's like Thanksgiving dinner, like?
Yeah, it's just too much, man. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm like a saint because I mean, I'm trying to protect my elite figure, but the deep dish is too much for me.
We got a couple spots though that it's pretty damn good.
Okay, what would you say the ones you'd give a shout out to?
The Pequod spot.
Yeah, I hear that's the best.
If you go there and try it, you'll be like,
okay,
all right.
I will at some point for sure.
They're just a heads up and warning. They are not the nicest people.
Yeah, I think there's an old history with that place
in the world. They're not assholes, but they are very. You might rub them the wrong way.
Yeah, so don't go in giving the life speech. Just keep it short.
I don't even know about that. I think just your overall how you come off, I think, might rub them the wrong way. You're very personable and friendly,
and they're more like to the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, what do you want?
You say it and get it. Okay. All right.
Them and there's this other place, My Pie, which is like very kind of small. It's up in Wicker Park, I think.
Okay.
Very legit. Light, not that heavy, dense, great sauce.
All right.
They do a good job.
Well, what do you like? Do you have any other like particular favorite? Like, I know it's the beauty of Chicago is like there's just so many options everywhere.
That's the thing. So like New York, there's literally everything. Except I would argue we are not where we are with every other cuisine, where we are with Chinese food.
Okay.
I think Chinese food's kind of
all right
here, but everything else, best steakhouses.
Yeah, I went to the steakhouse thing, and I used to always be like, "Oh, a good steakhouse is a good steakhouse," but man, that Bavette's is maybe the best one I've ever been to.
It's phenomenal.
I mean, I've been twice. That blew my mind.
Phenomenal restaurant.
Yeah.
Everything those guys do is they can't miss.
I mean, I can't recommend it enough. I mean, I sat at the bar one time, and then we had like a big stew finer dinner there one time downstairs, and downstairs was like super cool.
What's great about them and their group is they're Chicago-based. It's Hog Salt. They're like the Au Cheval guys.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I live like
Yeah, you're right down the street.
Yeah, that Randolph Street with all Cheval and Girl and the Goat and John Boy. And I'm a big Green Street Smoked Meats fan. I'm shout out Dave Bonner. I'm friends with the owner.
Same guys.
Yeah, that. And then that area with like that High Five Ramen and Trivoli Tavern and the Swada Coffee. Man, dude, it's just, that Randolph Street is freaking popping.
Great spot.
Yeah, is that why, and that's probably what part of why y'all put John Boy there, I'm sure, huh?
That and Jim Graziano, the JP Graziano.
Yeah, it's right there too.
He's our landlord. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's next door to y'all.
He owns the space, yeah. So that we got really lucky with that. But, back to the Hog Salt guys. They're pretty much, I can't think of another group that went from Chicago to New York, and they dominate New York too now. Like,
really?
Fort Charles Prime.
I've heard of that. I hadn't been yet.
Impossible to get into.
Isn't it like upstairs in some like hotel room or something?
It's like one of the hardest reservations in New York. Has been for years, and then they got Au Cheval there too, and people go ham for that.
Dude, Au Cheval, like Moody, I'm gonna let you chime in. I took you to Au Cheval after that hockey game the other night. What'd you think?
At first I was like, we're going to get a burger. Like, once you've had a burger, you've had a burger. It was possibly the best burger I've ever had in my life. I mean, it was really, really good. The bacon was incredible. You have to get the egg on there as well. It was very impressive.
They got the most random menu I've ever seen.
Bro, you know what you got to get next time you go there is the fried bologna.
Okay, so I was with somebody that tried it the other day, and I got to have a bite of it, and it was incredible. Yeah, it was really good. I had a bite of it the other day.
Great. Again, nothing special, nothing like over-the-top fancy. It's just a fried bologna sandwich, I think, on like a nice potato roll with good mayonnaise. And it is...
They got that Dijonnaise on there.
Holy shit, is it good. That's good. They got their fried chicken.
Yeah, I saw that. They've got like Korean fried chicken. I hadn't had that.
They do it, so it's called like East meets West. It's like a spicy chili sauce, but it's also like an orange chicken. I don't know how to describe it, but it is phenomenal. Everything they do there is excellent.
Yeah, I believe every bit of it because it may be the best burger. Like, it's up there with the best I've had.
We've got spots like that. The Italian restaurants are pretty solid here.
I'm sure, with all the history.
Like I said, steakhouses are the best.
What other ones you really like?
Bro, there's another thing I didn't know about until I moved out here. I know people from LA flip out and are like, nowhere's better than LA, but our Mexican food.
Oh, the Rick Bayless spots are ridiculous.
Not just him though, just like the corner spots, like the mom and pop.
Okay.
Mexican spots. So good. Especially, if you ventured out to Pilsen yet.
No.
You got to go down there.
I feel like I'm guilty of this, and I'll call myself out on it and call it what it is, because I was like this in New Orleans too when I lived uptown, but like, I feel like I'm in this West Loop thing, and our office is here, and I live on the edge of downtown, and like I have a great spot, but I feel like I need to venture out a little more. Like, I feel like I'm like in this bubble where I'm real comfortable day to day, and I have like everything I need right by me, but like I need to get out and explore the city.
So Pilsen's great. The Salt Shed guys, their original, or one of their original venues is down there. It's called Talia Hall.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Great concert spot. You'd love it.
Okay.
They also have a restaurant inside the same building. They do a great job, but are all around there, just awesome Mexican spots.
I've been hearing, so I want to ask about this too. I'm kind of getting my Chicago feel with Dante. The winter hadn't been as bad as I expected. We had that really brutal 10 or 12 day stretch from that Arctic blast came down from Canada, but day to day,
fun, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, Moody, you were up here for it. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, that was the coldest weather I've ever had to deal with. I'm from Louisiana as well, so I'm not used to that. And let me tell you, Dante, I was not going outside very much.
That was rough, but day to day it's been better than I thought. And the thing with Chicago, it's just all the wind. But like a day like today, it's like mid-30s outside when you walk outside. But when it's not windy, it feels like it's 60. But when it's windy, you just feel when it's like the wind's whipping in Chicago, you can have 6 layers on. No matter how many clothes you have on, you feel naked.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It just whips right through you. It's crazy.
You know what pisses me off about it?
What pisses you off?
Is it's only around when it's, like you said, 10, 20 degrees. Summertime, 90, 100, no wind, no breeze, nothing. When it would actually be so beautiful and comforting.
To have a 10 or 15
non-existent. But in the wintertime, it's fucking nonstop. It's all just constant wind. Closer you go to the lake, worse.
Yeah,
Way worse.
like I said, I actually think we've gotten kind of lucky on this one so far because it hadn't been as bad as I mean, I know that one stretch was bad, but
Dude, this is the big. You're of all people to jinx the weather right now. Why would you? Why would you fucking do that to us?
Okay, all right.
We're gonna get buried now, and we're gonna get in another ice storm. And don't say it hasn't been bad.
Okay.
You don't know. I
don't know. I don't know anything.
I was just arguing with Hank about this last week. Hank was saying the same shit. Oh, everyone said Chicago's so bad. It hasn't been like you don't understand. Our winters go well through March into April.
Okay, well, I want to ask about because I keep hearing like I came up here twice during summer last year, but everybody just says like, look, you suffered through the winter to enjoy the summer. Like, how great are these Chicago summers?
You really haven't been here for one?
No.
Oh.
I came. So when I got rehired, what happened was when I got rehired on August the 8th, Big Cat asked me to fly up for the Yak. So I like flew up for the Yak the next day, and I was here then, and then I came back 2 weeks later to go to Rough and Rowdy. So I got to hang out during August a little bit, and man, everybody's out on that beach by Lake Michigan. I went and played like volleyball with Hank.
You play volleyball?
Not well, but I went out there and played.
Dude, I want to get a team going for. They do like those summer leagues.
Yeah. Well, I was out there with Hank, was with some friends, and I like hopped in for a little bit. I wasn't very good, but it was fun. It's a very social event. But I mean, the weather, I don't know. I'm just excited. Like the festival scene. I mean, obviously I have Lala, that smokehouse, the barbecue festival. It's the big country music festival. It's like
Windy City Smokehouse.
Yeah, that.
That's the best. That's the best. That's the best weekend in summer.
Yeah, it's mid-July. I've got a lot of people I know that are involved in that. Some New Orleans friends actually come up for
June
it.
this year.
I think it's July 11th through 15th.
It's June.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was.
My boy Chase Rice is playing.
Okay.
And
I saw Carrie Underwood playing. I thought
they get a monster lineup.
Yeah, that looks really, really fun. I can't just wait to see the summer. I'm sure I'll hit some games at Wrigley. My big thing, I'm really hoping my boy Tim Elko's in Double A for the White Sox gets called up this year, Ole Miss buddy of mine, because I'll be hitting a lot of those games.
So I was actually just talking to somebody about this last night at dinner. They were asking difference between the East Coast summers and the summers out here. The biggest thing I think is out east. I don't know if you know this, but on the weekends, the cities like clear out. So
yeah, no, I've noticed that. What's the old saying about New York? The best thing about living in New York is leaving. Wasn't that the old saying?
I don't know how anyone does it, but on the weekends in the summer, New York, Philly, Boston, even like
everybody clears out, goes to the lake or water.
Everyone goes to the ocean.
Yeah.
Boston, everyone goes to the Cape. New York, everyone goes to the Hamptons.
Yeah, or Shore. Yeah.
Philly, everyone goes to Jersey Shore. So you have like the best time of the year, but you don't have like the best, I would say, atmosphere. Here, it's almost the opposite. Nobody leaves. Plus,
you got the lakes here.
Plus, we get like, it feels like the population triples in size because we have so many people come to visit. We have so much going on. There's, like you said, there's a festival every weekend. And when I say festival, not music festival, we have art festivals, every neighborhood does a festival every weekend, which are great. I don't know if you've been to any of those.
I have not yet, but I look forward to I'm just going to look.
They're great.
You're my guy here. You've never let me, every restaurant or music, every rec you've ever given me has been great. So I'm just going to whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to try.
We've got 2 baseball teams. So there's baseball every day of the week. One of them is at home. They usually switch back and forth, but we've got baseball all week. We've got the air and water show. We've got the lake. The weather's beautiful. The boating scene's crazy.
Yeah, no, I want to get out. I'm hoping somebody at Barstool gets a boat so we can go out there.
There's seriously nowhere better, honestly. I always say, as many faults as the city has, it's still the best. And I think you'll spend a summer here and you'll agree. Everyone that's moved here so far.
No, the vibe, I've been talking about this since I moved here. The vibe on Chicago, and I did 2 full years in New York, and I'll just come out and say it. I like living here 100 times better. It's not even 5 or 10.
And you haven't even enjoyed the best part of it.
Yeah, but it's just the call. Well, I mean, you have a lot of the same, there's just tons to do, just like there is in New York. But, I'll just call it what it is, man. The cost of living thing here is so much better. And New York, it's just so hard unless you're making if you're not making $400,000 or $500,000, you have nothing.
Dude, what's crazy is since I've been here, it's tripled. So it's still very.
But it's gone up
affordable.
everywhere.
Like,
We live in America where it's gone up
agreed.
everywhere.
But if you can imagine, when I got out of college, I mean, dude, it was so cheap. My friends from Boston or whatever would come visit and be like, you got to be kidding me. You can rent a place like this for this amount of money. You can go out and not spend $150 and be out till 4 a.m. That's the other thing is, not that I'm up that late anymore, but
I mean, I guess you are when you're a John Boy.
we've got 4 a.m. places, which I mean, besides like Miami, New York, and Vegas, I don't know anywhere else in the country that.
Yeah.
Like, what's New Orleans?
New Orleans used to be more late, and it seems like COVID hit it pretty hard on the late night scene.
I was going to say, when we were down there for that bachelor party, they were kicking everyone out.
Yeah, it used to be way more late night than it is now. Like, it turns up for, like, Jazz Fest and Mardi Gras and that stuff. There are late-night dive bars for sure. Like, there are a few that are all night, like Snake and Jake's and Le Bon Ton, a bunch of them at Uptown. But yeah, for the most part, it's gotten a little earlier than it used to be.
The strip clubs all stay open.
Yeah, Penthouse and also, yeah.
Those are all open late.
Sounds like you might have done some digging on that on your trip. Hey, I hadn't been to one in a while, so I'm nothing with the clean living here these days, boys. Thanks to Dude Wipes, keeping me clean and solving all the messes in the world. Check out the mint chill flavor. But anything else coming up on your plate here soon? I mean, you're like kind of like Dante's got a little Renaissance man vibe to him. You do you've been a part of Barstool forever, write a lot of blogs. You're in the mix here. You're part of a hospitality group that owns John Boy. I feel like you've got your hands in a lot of pots.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just it's interesting. Like, I don't even know what all you're into.
Yeah, no, we're just trying to keep expanding John Boy and our country concept, the farm.
Okay, what's that?
That's the thing I got. Chase Rice is our partner. Caleb's actually our partner too.
No shit. Okay.
Caleb introduced me to Chase a long time ago. I think before he kind of blew up, because they had the football connection from UNC.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize Chase was okay.
Dude, he is. You want to talk about somebody with the craziest life story ever?
Okay.
So he played football at UNC.
I didn't know that.
Got hurt. Didn't get drafted. Joined a NASCAR pit crew.
What?
I'm pretty sure he won a NASCAR. They're not championships, are they? What do you win when you win the season in NASCAR?
No, it's like a team award when you.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
his crew won it.
I'm pretty sure they won a season. Then he went on Survivor. Yeah, you didn't know any of this?
No, I just knew he was a big country star.
Then he went on Survivor, and then he went 100% into writing music, and
Now he's a superstar.
moved to Nashville, and yeah, he's like the coolest fucking guy now.
Okay, well, I look forward to
He's
meeting him and
he's
checking
badass.
out that Wendy
Dude,
season.
he owns this farm outside Nashville. He's got like 30 buffalo on it. He raises buffalo.
What?
It is the coolest. You want to talk about like the coolest animals? Fucking the best. He only kills a couple a year and for the meat, but yeah, the population's like growing and growing and growing. He's got like a real thing going.
Damn.
In addition to his whole country career.
Damn. And then so y'all have the farm, John Boy. Do you involved in any restaurants too? Not really.
We're getting into it. We're opening a spot in Miami in Wynwood
Okay.
neighborhood. I don't know if you know.
I don't know. My Miami knowledge is I am going to West Palm Beach this weekend to play the Chris Moneymaker Poker Tour, but I'm not going to make it all the way to Miami. It's like an hour north.
Nice. You been to West Palm?
Yeah, I played. Man, God, one of the ones that got away. I got like 17th or 15th or 17th in this huge West Palm World Series circuit event when I lost a pot for the chip lead in like 2012, and then I actually went. What's funny, that ties into yesterday. William Byram winning the Daytona 500 on a Monday because it got rained out over the weekend. I actually went to the Daytona 500 like 10 years ago because it got rained out that weekend. It was a Monday night. We were like partying on the infield. It was cool.
Dude, what do you think about Daytona?
It's just wild, dude. I'm not necessarily the biggest NASCAR guy, but I think NASCAR is one of those things That's kind of, I mean, it's obviously a way different sport than hockey, and I know people get mad at me for comparing, but you have to go to the live event to appreciate it. Like on TV, it's like kind of fun, whatever, but when you go and you see the intensity and the energy and the passion and everything that goes into it, you get a different respect for it. And like Daytona, I was like up on the fence when the cars are flying by, and like, dude, I was getting like pieces of tire rubber like on my skin the way when they were flying by at 200 miles. It was crazy.
I will say, I talk to Large a lot. Large is one of the most like refined, cultured, he's very like high class.
No doubt.
And I always ask him about the racing stuff he's involved in, and he's just like, he says the same thing. He's like, dude, you have to come for a weekend. He's like, it will change your life. He's like, it is the funnest fucking experience, funnest atmosphere. I really, really, really want to try to make one. But the thought of NASCAR in Daytona.
Oh, that combo, yeah.
Dude, Daytona.
It's so wild.
Daytona on its own is like one of the friggin' seediest places I've ever been.
That whole like area, like it starts in like that Florida thing. It's like pretty like Perdido and Destin or whatever, and then when you get down to Panama City, down to Daytona, that like block, it just
Well, Panama City's like nice now.
Yeah, it's not as wild as it used to be.
They ran all the kids out.
Yeah, they used to have that Club Vila or whatever.
Oh, there was a bunch of me and Eddie. Eddie used to go down there.
I would have loved to see Red Ed down there.
I used to I did a show down there with Little John one year.
For
spring break, dude.
What?
We did a blackout week down there. Dave rented out some shithole motel, put us up in it. We couldn't leave. You want to talk about like physical torture? We were stuck in spring break for like a week. We had to do 4 shows. They were foam shows too, like 4 foam parties at this venue. And we were competing against the other places. It wasn't the best week, wasn't the best time. But that's when Panama City was
at its peak.
Yeah, and it was madness down there. Now you go down there, now it's like you can tell they're trying to make it like the rest of Florida, like retirement community. It's very strange. Beaches are beautiful though. Yeah,
well, I'm looking forward to getting down there and playing some cards. What anything else before we get out of here? Anything else you want to promote or on your current coming up?
No, man. What about you? What do you got? I feel like you were in New Orleans for.
So I did Mardi. So I rode in Crew Frat.
You were there forever.
Well, I did that. I was there for like a week, and then I went to Rich. Well, to be truthful, I was kind of like. They didn't tell me blatantly don't be in the office that week, but they didn't tell me not to be because there was stuff going on in the office that was kind of like going to get, they got an, obviously everybody saw it got announced recently, but I didn't want to risk blowing anything. And I'm always in so much hot water with Dave that I have to just be careful. But yeah, I did New Orleans, rode in Frat, it was great. Did that Frasco thing. I'm really excited. I got the West Palm Moneymaker Poker Tour. I'm doing a week next week. So Wake Up Mintzy's on this week. Next week, I'm going to do a bunch of Ole Miss content down in Oxford. I'm trying to interview Lane Kiffin and Chris Beard and do some good Ole Miss sports stuff that should be fun next week. And then, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm looking forward to March Madness. And, we got college basketball. And
when's the next Panic run?
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be the Jazz Fest Thursday, the first weekend.
And what? They never just do one show, right?
Well, they do just one for Jazz Fest because it's a festival.
But aren't they going to have like after parties? And
they'll maybe other people play, but that one's just one. And then there's like Memphis Memorial Day weekend I'm looking at. The Chicago one's got rescheduled for next week, but I'm going to be gone to.
You're going to miss them?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just I've had this Mississippi trip planned for business and stuff. I got like such a great relationship with Ole Miss that I can't blow off like getting good Barstool content.
Yeah, how the hell do you have that, by the way?
I got lucky. I have a crazy story with Oxford because I spent like 10 years there, and went back and people were into me finishing school, and then also. I don't know. The athletic department's just been like, I guess Walker blew up in Mississippi State. When I got here, they were super just all about Barstool and supporting it. And I mean, I'll be honest. I think part of why I get support from there too is I probably don't say as many F-bombs or curse as much on camera. And I think that probably goes over well as far as with the university too, maybe. But man, I get access to, I'm lucky I get access to everything, and I'm lucky to have those relationships. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to Oxford. And that's going to be my only time I get there in spring. So I'm
now, what about
going to Bama basketball game next Wednesday?
Now, what about the Panic guys? Are you tight with them?
Yeah, I'm close with Dwayne Trucks, drummer, and the manager, Steve Lopez. And I know JoJo who plays keyboard, because he used to play for a band called Beanland in Oxford. He has the Ole Miss ties. I actually lived in the same college house he used to live in too. So I don't know him as well.
Wait, so is that how you became a fan?
Yeah, Memphis. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I thought you were just a super fan.
No, yeah, that's how I got into it, going to Memphis shows back in the day.
As they were coming up, or were they?
Oh, they were already. I was
were
older.
pretty big.
Yeah, I was like 22 or 23. They were already.
I don't know if I know anybody alive right now, or a band that's alive that is more of a diehard.
Man, I'll tell you, these Fish fans are crazier than me.
Bro, you're like roadie level.
No, I'm into it, but man, I feel like I've seen like Fish fans that have been to like 400 or 500. I mean, I'm nowhere near in that. I mean, I need to go through and recount. I'm near 200, but
You go to Fish shows?
I've been to like 10 or 12. Like, I'll catch them when it's convenient. You know, I'm not on the road with them. Fish is an expensive habit though. Like Fish and Dead is too. Panic, you can like, when they're doing the South cities, you can maneuver those weekends for like $500 or $1,000.
Would you go see Fish at the Sphere?
Yes, I would, but that one might be pricing me. Like the Mintzy tour, the foundation of the Mintzy tour is built on value and maneuvering, and like, you know, Fish at the Sphere in Vegas is gonna be pricey. You know, it's all about, you know, maneuvering the value. So I don't know. I'm thinking about doing one of the Dead and Company Spears in June, because one of my buddies is turning 40, and that's during World Series of Poker. So maybe I can play some World Series.
Is that when they're out there?
They're out there in May and June, because the Dead thing's so funny. It's like last summer. How many last tours have the Dead have? I mean, it's like the Fish lyric and more. It's like it's never over. It's never really over, even when it's over.
So Mayer's done, right?
No, he's doing the summer. They got like 20-something shows at the Sphere.
Wait, I thought the whole last round was a big deal because Mayer was done.
No, they're doing like they have like 20-something shows scheduled at the Sphere. They had their last
with
two.
him.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Dude, it's never over even when it's over. It's unreal. Like, dude, somebody's a spoof about the Dead. So, I mean, how many last tours can one band have? But it's a good thing. You know, I mean, I hope they keep playing forever. But
You want to know what's weird? My youngest sister is a Dead fan now.
Really?
She lives out
It's because of Mayer?
in Western Mass. It's kind of weird out by like UMass and all that. She lives out there, and they're all into folk and all that stuff. And yeah, she's a huge fan now. So I might have to pony up and get her tickets for that show this summer.
Yeah, they're in May. There's a bunch of them in May and June.
Dude, you got to go. It is.
I'm gonna go. Like, I would try to go to the June one for my buddy's 40th, and then, like I said, play some World Series of Poker. But I'm like making an effort. I mean, I obviously travel a lot, and I've got a bunch of stuff coming up next couple months. But summer, I want to be here a lot just to enjoy Chicago. And you know, I'm gonna play the World Series main in Vegas, and I might go to Omaha for College World Series. But I'm gonna make a point to try to be here on weekends and like really, you know, I hope this is my hometown the next 3 to 5 years. I hope so.
Are you a good poker player?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was all I did from 2006 to 14. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was a poker pro for 8 years. I got 75th in the World Series main once. I was like top 200 in online tourneys at one point. I mean, I wasn't great, but I was good. You know, I still play on the side, and that's why, you know, it's fun for me to play now on the side when I lose. Like, it's like I have a job, so it's not as stressful. But, you know, I definitely had a good little career going. Like, I would have, my career collapsed not because I wasn't good at poker. It was just, you know, off-field activities. It was like, you know, like in sports when you have the players, the off-field issues. I felt like I might have been one of those in poker in my late 20s, in NOLA especially. But, you know, you live and you learn. You know, clearly it's led me on this path where I am now, so I don't see how it could have really worked out better.
I like it. That's great perspective, you know? I like that.
Well, there's like a funny thing in poker I always talk about when, like, I had the chip lead in the NOLA main in 2013, and it was like $250,000 to first. And there were like 12 left. I had the chip lead, and I like blow it completely and get eighth. But if I'd have won that, I'd have never left the poker world. And who knows what ended up happening, especially because I was partying and I was out of control. But by losing that, I ended up like back at Ole Miss in a year and started this whole path that got me in sports radio and got me here. So it's like one of those like ripples in the pond life moments. You know, it's like when bad things happen, you think they're bad, but they end up being a blessing long term. And I feel like my life has been like, that's kind of been a big theme the last few years. And there's certainly been some bad stuff that's happened, as we all know, but it's kind of ended up working out on every front.
And that was deep.
Yeah.
That was deep. What do you think what do you think your life would be like if you were a professional poker player on the tour.
I think I'd be burnt. I was already burned out after 8 years of it, and I see all these people now that have still done it.
Seems like a lot of hours.
Well, the thing is like the people who have done it for 16 or 17 years, like I enjoyed poker, but like, man, you got to have something else. I love it now because I play on the side and I have a job and income. But man, when that's your only income, it's just such a roller coaster. And like you think amounts of money, like you think like winning 50 or 100K, you're like, man, like you're set. But like if you don't have a paycheck coming in every 2 weeks, like you're not set ever. And it's all about consistent income streams.
That's your stake, right? Like you
But like, I mean, I built my roll up over 6 figures a couple of times in poker, and I thought when I got to 100K, I'm like, oh, I got it made. I'm like super rich, and like, dude, the last time it was like gone in a year. You know, it's not what you think, because if you don't have steady income, if you don't have a steady paycheck, then like literally, like what's enough money?
Yeah.
Because if it's not coming, because you can have a bad 3 or 4 months where you have life expenses, you're traveling. And you're losing in poker. And if you're losing in poker and having high life expenses, dude, the amount of money that disappears in a short time is crazy. I don't want us to, we can't ruin mostly sports here. Like, the longest Wake Up Mintzy yet, though. Booty, how about it?
Yeah, definitely the longest one we've had this.
People are asking for longer shows. We're giving them what they want.
You're great, man. Honestly, I won't turn this into another tangent for you, but, man, when you talk about your partying days, I'm always like, man, I can't even imagine what that guy was like.
I had a big time, I mean, I still enjoy myself, but it's just a little, I don't do any of the post-midnight stuff. These are the best days, though. It's like funny because you get older and you like think when you're 20, you're like, oh, it's going to suck to be 40. I don't want to be old. But like you just get a different perspective on everything. And, I just enjoy life more now, day to day.
Fucking teach me, please.
Well, I mean, I'm also lucky to have Barstool, like to be a part of this is, pretty much have the dream job. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. I want to shout out Moody. Thanks, Dante the Don. We got Sydney Wells tomorrow, which should be a hell of a lot of fun in here. I love Sydney. We're going to come up with some fun stuff with that. Subscribe to Wake Up Mintzy on Rumble, please. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks to Dude Wipes for cleaning up a whole hell of a lot of messes. Check out their mint chill flavor.
Thanks, Moody.
And thanks, Moody. Oh, and I just spelled Stella Blue.